Hey, horror fans, once again, it's the Horror Minds of Monty G, and today we're going to talk about last night's exciting episode of American Horror Story Cult. Now, before they opened up the show, FX decides to give a little announcement that last night's episode was going to be edited due to the unfortunate tragedy that happened in Las Vegas last week. Because the scene involves something similar that happened out in Vegas, and it was going to be highly edited. And if you wanted to see the unedited version, you can watch it on FX on demand, FX, I think it's FX Now and FX Plus. Yeah, that was the first thing they did. And of course, when the cold open opens, we see Kai is talking, and everyone is going crazy, and everyone's shouting, "We are the wall, we are the wall." And all of a sudden, we hear two gunshots. And then we see Ivy running around trying to hide. She's looking real crazy. We hear a couple more gunshots. Then all of a sudden, here comes the SWAT team, and we eventually get the shooter is revealed to be Allie, of all people. Very shocking, amazing. Did Allie shoot the people? She eventually drops her gun, and they tell her to drop her gun. She drops the gun, and then we pan over, and we see Kai. He's been shot. Is he dead? Oh no! Kill the opening credits! So we get another flashback after that scene. Actually, the show goes back to the point where Meadow is banging on Allie's door and lets her know that, hey, look, there's a cult. I'm in on it, Harrison is on it, and your wife is in on it too. And she gets taken. But Allie, instead of just being the typical, how can you call her, crazy person that she's become, she actually grabs a knife and goes into the house. She sneaks into the house. We see Harrison and the detective Summers are having sex, and she eventually rescues Madison. They eventually go back to her I think it's called the butchery diner, where Meadow talks to Allie about the cult and tells her that, yeah, she's in on it too. And she doesn't really believe her. You would think that she was at all this place, but she wants proof. She still doesn't believe her. So eventually we actually get another flashback, and we find out how Ivy joined the cult. We get a flashback, and we see Ivy and Winter are talking. Ivy's skitzing out because they, of course, we all know that the dude that they locked up went on ahead and voted. His arm was cut off his hand, so he can go vote, and he was bleeding, and Ivy thinks that they are going to go crazy. And then Winter tells Ivy to, hey, why don't you go meet my brother Kai? He'll set you straight. And so we get another pinky swear with Kai and Ivy. And we get revealed the truth about why she decided to join Kai's cult. And bottom line is she really despises Allie. We find out eventually through another flashback that she was the one that had that was pregnant with Ozzy, and Ivy unfortunately really wanted to be the birth mother of their child, but unfortunately due to some type of illness she could not carry the child, but Allie could. And she wound up breastfeeding her, and she wanted to breastfeed them. And then Allie I guess she started to really resent her. Jealousy took part because she wanted to experience some of the stuff that Allie was experiencing with their son. And eventually, this jealousy rose to hatred. And and of course, the straw that broke the camel's back is when she voted for Jill Stein. And she basically said, I hate her fucking guts. So that's where we get to this point as the reason why she joined Kai's cult, because she just literally despises Allie. Which I think is kind of sad, because to me, and my own personal experience, my own personal motto is that you're better happy by yourself than to be miserable with somebody. If you are miserable with that person and the only reason why you stay with them because you have a kid together, bad things tend to happen. And I'm talking from personal experience myself. If I had decided to stay with my son's mother, I would not be here. I would not be making these videos. I wouldn't be married to my lovely wife, Kelly. I'd probably be somewhere else, probably be in jail or somewhere else. But, I understand that this is a show, and at doing this, but in real life, you just don't stay with somebody just because you had kids together. Again, you better be. It's best to be happy and be by yourself than to be miserable. Be miserable with somebody. It does. It's not going to work. So basically, Metal tells Allie, hey, look, it's simple. She hates your fucking guts. So we see that Kai tells her that by the time we get through to her, because she really doesn't want to. She's not going to divorce uh, Allie, and she doesn't think she'll be able to get full custody of him. And Kai says, well, by the time that we're through with her, you'll have full custody of your son. And that's when we see the main motivation and why Ivy joins the cult. Now, with all this information, Allie decides, says, look, this is it. We got to get you somewhere. But they don't go to the cops. They go to Dr. Vincent. Now, we all know Dr. Vincent is in on the cult because he's Kai and Winter's brother, older brother. He's the oldest. But, of course, Allie doesn't know that. So Allie takes Metal to the whatchamacallem, and she leaves her there and tells her that I'm going to go get some help. We're going to go get some help. We're going to stop this cult because the cult needs to be stopped. Now, why this change of heart from Metal? Well, we find out from Metal why this change of heart from Metal, why she's going against the cult. Well, we eventually find out through other flashbacks that Kai really manipulated her by praising her beauty and praising her greatness. But we find out later on he says the same stuff to Ivy, and that disillusions her from the cult that she wants to leave. And eventually, she confronts Kai about this, and Kai eventually disowns her from the cult, and they literally just tie her up, almost like hog tie her. And he tells her that she's nothing, she's worthless, and we see her crying. So we see why she's going against the cult. But we'll get back to that scene later. And we get switched to the present time, and we see Kai. He's in city council talking up a storm, and he gets interrupted by a newcomer, Mae Winningham. I think I'm pronouncing the actress's name right. Uh, if I'm not, just let me know her real name. But she's been another long-time standing person on this show. She's coming as Mayor Winningham. Yeah, that's what her name is. Her name is Sally. And she decides to say, hey, look, I'm going to run against you. I'm going to become a writing candidate against you for city council. So Kai shakes her hand, but he knows that he's going to have to kill her because no one's not going to stop him from taking that city councilman seat. So Allie goes to Sally's house and tells her all about what's happening, and tells her what's happening. And she actually, despite the fact that it makes a lot of nonsense, Sally actually believes her. She says this kind of shit happens when the patriarchy is threatened. And she says, lighting a joint. She says, nothing shocks me. I went to Berkeley. Unfortunately, it doesn't take long before Kai and his his cult minions arrive with their clown suits on, and of course, Allie runs away. She tells them we're going to move, but unfortunately, Kai grabs her from behind, and he tells her. She says, you can't just shoot me because people are not going to believe people are not going to take that seriously. And Kai says, oh no, we're going to do something better. He writes on Facebook a suicide note. Very nice, lovely suicide note. Trust me, nothing's lovely about suicide, but he does write a very good note based upon her character. And he even tells her that, hey, you're even getting some likes. And they eventually kill Sally. They do hear Allie in the bathroom, and then we see one of the cult members with some type of reverse clown face, a political clown face with a face of a donkey in the front and an elephant in the back. She thinks it's Ivy, and it could be Ivy, we don't know. But unfortunately, Harrison tells her, let's go. So they don't attack her, probably because they have other plans for her. Allie goes back to Dr. Vincent. We don't see Metal there. Looks like Dr. Vincent is telling her, hey, look, I tried to talk to her, but she decided to go. Allie decides to leave, and because something strange is about to happen, and we hear him say, damn. Meaning that whatever plan that Kai has, Allie might ruin it, and we will find out what that plan is. So now we're back to the cold opening as we see the rally where Kai is all caught up He's telling the people, and once again they're all shouting, "We are the wall, we are the wall." He even makes a reference to Sally, who unfortunately they find out that she killed herself. And then all of a sudden we see Meadow in the crowd of people. Allie's there. She gets there and she's trying to find Meadow, and then Meadow takes out a gun and starts shooting people. She shoots a couple of people at random, and then she takes a gun and shoots Kai. Maybe she finally decided to wake up, and the only way to stop Kai is to kill him. So she shoots Kai. She shoots everyone else. Allie comes up into the. Allie gets up to her. She's struggling with the gun, and then right before you know it, Meadow says, "This is the face of true love," and she literally blows her brains out. What in the world is happening? Why would she want to kill herself? Doesn't make any sense. But it will make sense because we flash back to that scene where she's hogtied and Kai is just berating her, but then all of a sudden he becomes very, very careful with her. He unhogties her and he starts talking sweet to her again. They eventually start having sex, and he tells her that you have to do more for me. You have to sacrifice for me. Tells her that you're going to have to assassinate me. And she falls for it. And eventually we find out that everything that was going on, her telling her about the cult, who was in it, and everyone's in it. She wants to tell Allie that because it was all part of Kai's plan. We find out that Kai was the one that told her to go on ahead and tell her about the whatchamacallem. He allowed her to escape because he wanted her to get with Allie. And he wanted Metal to shoot him. Well, not kill him, obviously, because he got a flesh wound. That's all he's gotten. But eventually, that was Kai's all plan. What's all of Kai's plan was manipulate Kai into doing all that stuff, and she fell for it. So eventually, Allie is arrested, and Kai he goes into the ambulance, and he's got a big grin on his face because to him everything is going into plan. You got to give it to Evan Peters this season because he's really killing it with his performance of Kai, and he's probably one of the most manipulative people I've seen on television in a while. His performance is great, right up there with Jessica Lange's performances since she's to when she was on the show, and he's really killing it. I think this is his best season, other than Hotel when he was Patrick Marks. And he's really killing this year. You really got to give it up. You got to give up to the writers. They've really done a great job this season. Really enjoying this season of American Story Code. I believe it's best story that they've had so far since the show's been on. Like I said, most people always tell me what's your favorite story of America. I love all of them. I like some better than others. I like Murder House. I like Coven. Like Asylum. Because I always thought Asylum was the best, like Freak Show. Even though Freak Show is probably not one of their better ones, it was still good. I did like Coven. A lot of people don't like Coven. But like I said, this show right here, this American Horror Story Cult, it's the best. It's got everything in it. It keeps you intrigued. There's twists and turns everywhere. Just when you think you know where one point is going, they twist it up and they send you in another direction. So you got to give Evan Peters credit. Yeah, Ryan Murphy and everyone else involved in this show credit for what they've done so far this season. And I can't wait because I believe this is only a 10-episode season so far, and so they're getting ready to come up with the season finale. So I'm pretty sure I can't wait to see what they have in store with the remaining episodes they do have left. So, of course, what do you guys think about last night's episode of American Horror Story Cult? Did you enjoy it? Did you see that twist coming? Were you eternally surprised? Or do you think this is just another part of Kai's manipulation and no one can't resist him? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Kai's plan will work? Or what is his end game? Comment on the comment section below and let me know. And tell me, what do you think about this season of American Horror Story Cult? Do you think this is the best story that this show has done? Or what was your favorite American Horror Story? Comment below and let me know in the comment section. So that's my video for last night's episode of American Horror Story Cult. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did. If this is your first time here, please hit that like button and like this video. And also, please subscribe so that way you become part of the horror experience with me, the Horror Miser, Monty G. All my social media links will be in the description below as well. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser, Monty G. And always remember that horror rules.